everybody, and welcome to the next video here of Rotors and Jet Skis, where we're going to actually be starting this car today. So in the last video I went through and I got the carburetor on, got the fuel pressure regulator in, and made a little makeshift first start fuel system. So in this video I already got the spark plugs put back in and the plug wires back on, but first I'm going to put some water into the motor, because when I took the intake manifold out I had to drain the coolant out of the motor. Then I will fully set up the little makeshift fuel system, and then we'll get to starting. So I guess I'll go ahead and set y'all up so you can see me pour some water into the motor, then I will set up the little fuel system. Okay guys, so I'm going to pour some water into the motor. I suggest always using distilled water. There's no impurities in distilled water, so it keeps your cooling system from getting all rusty. Now, normally you would want to put some antifreeze in with it, but I'm going to run this through and I'm going to drain it out not long after the first start, because this cooling system has sat for a really long time and I just want to clear a lot of this stuff out. Also, you don't really want to just run it, because once it gets cooler out, well, it'll start to freeze, and last thing you want is your block to freeze on you, because it will crack all your coolant passages open, and then you'll have a really unhappy time. Also, the antifreeze raises the boiling point of your coolant as well, and it makes it a lot less likely that you'll boil over. Now, one thing I may end up doing before I drain it out is I might put a little water wetter in here, because it also helps raise the boiling point and just helps it cool better. So once I get it started, I'll leave that cap off and I will add a little bit more as it drinks it down. Okay everyone, here we go. So I set my fuel system up. I have my 5-gallon or 3-gallon gas tank right here. I did a 1.5 ounce per gallon premix in it because I'm not running the oil metering pump. Got the carb, I already tested it, so I can take this white wire, hit it right there to the battery, and it will give it fuel. So the carburetor is already full of fuel, so I guess it's time to see if it does its first start. Okay, hit it, Matt. So, the car is literally about 2 seconds away from starting, and my phone ran out of memory. So, the video got cut off right here where it was about to start. Luckily though, one of my roommates was filming and he was on the other side of the car, and I was able to grab that first start footage from him, and I'll be able to put it in now. But I mean, literally, my phone ran out of memory at exactly the time the car was about to start. So I felt I had to tell y'all that. That's why the video just cuts off, and now it's going over to the footage from my friend's phone. So I'll let y'all see the first start now. My fuel system up. I have my 5-gallon or 3-gallon gas tank right here. I did a 1.5 ounce per gallon premix in it because I'm not running the oil metering pump. Got the carb, I already tested it, so I can take this white wire, hit it right there to the battery, and it will give it fuel. So the carburetor is already full of fuel, so I guess it's time to see if it does its first start. Okay, hit it, Matt. Hey. Okay, I'm gonna go over there and work the throttle. Okay.
Okay everyone, so the video just cut out because I ran out of storage on my phone. Hopefully Harrison got some on his phone. But now it's idling after sitting for 16 years. So I got my little makeshift fuel system. Now we can walk to the back over here. It's not even smoking that bad for sitting for so long. It doesn't even sound that bad. Yeah. I'll be smoking down there because that's all the ATF burning off the oil. That's hard. Spinning. Just check the water here. Hasn't sucked it down yet. I mean, thermostat probably hasn't opened. How we looking in here?
Right at 1,000.
I don't know if the sender works.
Temp sender might not work.
No, the fuel sender might work. Temp sender looks like it's creeped up a little bit.
Yeah, well.
I mean, we'll give it a little bit and see what it does. Clock still works.
Yeah. So, cool. This thing seems to be running
Wicked bad
pretty good.
exhaust leak.
What do you mean?
Either that or it's burning stuff off.
It's probably, I poured ATF all over that thing.
It's gonna be burning stuff off.
Yeah, I mean, there's oil in ATF.
We got seepage. Gas.
You sure it wasn't from the top?
It's literally seeping right now. You can see it. If you come over here and look, it's seeping from the side of the car. Look at it there.
Oh, is it zero fuel pressure?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, so the fuel can stop picking it up. Okay, start it back up again.
Yeah, okay, we got pressure again. 3 psi. 4 psi.
No, leave it up. I don't care those frequencies.
We're making all the fuel pressure. That's a massive vacuum leak.
Yeah. Okay, so we need to track down a vacuum leak. I'll get back to y'all once we find it. Okay, everyone. So, turns out the issue we were having with this carburetor was not actually that it was going lean because of vacuum leak, which I think I said in that last clip, but it's because it was actually overflowing with fuel. So this is a top hat that took off the race car in the last video at the track. Can't remember how many videos ago that was, but we've had issues with it for a really long time of overflowing. I put new needles and seats in it yesterday, but it still had a problem today with overflowing. So what I'm going to do real quick is actually swap the top hat from the carburetor. Oh, that's not very tight. From the carburetor that was on the car originally. So it's not hard to do that, especially since I don't have like throttle cable. I mean, really, the throttle cable doesn't even matter. So you just gotta remember to take these springs off, and then there's just a few screws around the top that you gotta take off, and then the top hat will come off, and you can slide your new top hat on. Now, I'm hoping the needles and seats will be better in that other one. I know I told y'all I was going to film taking the other one apart. Well, I just went because I was frustrated and took the top hat off the other one. I have it sitting right over there. Now I will go through and like fully clean out that carburetor, and I will film it when I do it. So basically the only thing I've done is take the carb hat off, which if you saw my first video, it's very similar to that Hitachi, and it's literally like exactly what I'm doing right now. So I will get this off, and then I will get the other one on. So with that Hitachi, I went through and I put all the screws onto a piece of cardboard so that I could keep track of where they went. Well, this carburetor, all the screws are the same size except for these two right up here. So I don't need to do that for this carb because I know where they all go. But if you're new, it makes you more comfortable, just go ahead and do that where you put the screws and cardboard so you can keep track of them. So, got this off. And there was gas leaking. I'm still not entirely sure where that's coming from. It might be coming from the base plate because the base plate might not be really sealing to the carb very well. I may end up taking the carb off and seeing if I can get it to seat better. But for now, that's not the case because heck, I can't even drive it at the moment. Okay, so there's that top hat. So, sorry I paused there. It looks like there might have been dirt or something in the bowl right there. Yeah, just a little bit. So, actually, if you wanted to, you can even start the car up like this. I wouldn't suggest it because it can really get junk down in your carburetor. But right now, there's fuel in those bowls, and granted, this rear one's really low. But let's see, I will stick this other top hat on, which it actually looks fairly clean on the inside. It's absolutely filthy on the outside, but set right down on there. Now that it looks all filthy, I will go ahead and I will screw all this back down just the way I took it off, and then I'll get back to you when I'm trying to start it. Okay, so I got that top hat on. I'm going to turn our makeshift fuel system back on here. I've got my lovely assistant back behind the the wheel again, so he can. Oh, that's gonna fall off. Okay, so that's on. There's no fuel pouring down. There's fuel in the float bowls. See how it do. Go ahead and crank her up.
All right.
Yep. Yeah, so at this point, we're going to go through and let it idle for a minute and see if the thermostat will open. Before it didn't, it seems like the water's still right at about the same place that I left it at. The temp gauge hasn't really moved at all, so we're going to see what happens. And do you have your the temp gun?
I don't know. It looks like it's moving though.
temp gauge works. Yeah, it's moving.
Cool. Hey guys, so the temp gauge seems to be working. You can probably hear Matt. If you can hear me, you can probably hear him. Okay, so our water does seem to be rising a little bit in the radiator. So maybe the thermostat is actually working.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, it's your camera shaking the entire time. Yeah.
It doesn't really look like it in the video. They did 5 PSI at fuel pressure.
That's a lot.
So I'm gonna go ahead and check the oil here now that it's running, see how much it's sucked through. We seem to be sitting right at 3/4 full, so we're good. Nah, it's still cold. I mean, it's raising up a little bit, so it's probably good to start. Starting to get warm up here. The thing's running so smooth. Okay, so still waiting. Thermostat hasn't quite opened yet. Oh, okay, it's from it's leaking over. Thought there was a leak because I could see water dripping over here, but it's leaking around the top of the radiator from the open cap, dripping it into the fan and blowing it back. Ow, that's hot. So the thermostat should be opening pretty soon. Hey, I can start to see junk going through there. Hey, and this hose is getting warm. Looks like our thermostat's opening.
Put the cap on.
Put the cap
water
on?
in it.
I'm just gonna keep putting water in it. It's not running as good. Looks like we got a little bit of a leak there. What's our tip gauge there?
It's reading fine. It's not hot. That was like 75. Nice and hot.
Yeah, that's pretty hot.
That's why I'm choking my head.
Okay guys, so it seems like it runs pretty well. Thermostat seems to be opening, so I'm starting to see antifreeze up here. So I think that's going to be it for this first start video. Next time we'll either be tackling the brakes or a gas tank. So thank you all for watching, and hope you all enjoy and get to see this car move on its own power in the future.